be amongst you, the business leaders of both the US and of Indonesia. As you know, I'm here invited by the President of the United States of America for, I think, a very important meeting of the Board of Peace. In fact, the first official meeting of the Board of Peace that has been formed to attend an implementation and the continuation of the ceasefire in Gaza, and we are attempting to continue to forge a path towards a real and lasting solution of the Palestinian issue. Also, I'm here to conclude a major trade agreement between our two countries. I say an agreement that carries out real significance for businesses, investors between our two countries and in the greater region of the Pacific. It sends a clear signal that Indonesia and the United States are choosing continuing and deeper economic cooperation, stronger market access, and greater certainty for business. For business leaders, certainty matters. Before I went to politics, I was also in business. That's why I think I can understand the business community with more empathy, I hope. We are looking for serious long-term partners who will work together with us, grow our economy together, and profit with each other, providing benefits to each other. We hope we will find partners who are ready to join us in our continuing attempt to modernize and industrialize. As President of my country, the Republic of Indonesia, my responsibility, I think, is very clear. I must ensure the sovereignty of my country. I must ensure good governance. I must ensure stability and peace. And I must bring real and tangible benefits to my people in the shortest possible time. As is said many times by many wise leaders in history, the hungry stomach cannot wait. A lot of my people are still experiencing difficult situation. Many are still living under the poverty line. Many face hunger. And these are difficulties that we must face and we must overcome. I am of the opinion that difficulties are to be confronted. Difficulties must be solved. weaknesses must be acknowledged. We understand that only with stability, good governance, can there be a climate that is attractive to foreign investors. No one wants to invest in a situation or an atmosphere of uncertainty, instability, or even chaos. We are very fortunate that Indonesia has enjoyed quite a long period of relative stability, relative peace. We continue our foreign policy of non-alignment, of respecting all great powers. I announced my determination when I took office of carrying out a policy of the good neighbor. The good neighbor policy, I am determined to foster and enhance the best of relationships between all the neighbors surrounding Indonesia, in the near region surrounding us, and also the wider region of East Asia and the Indo-Pacific. I hold to the policy of 1,000 friends too few and one enemy too many, not only in foreign policy but also in my domestic politics. I learned that cooperation, collaboration, compromise will in the end prove more beneficial and profitable to all sides. Competition is necessary, but after competition must come cooperation. This is my conviction, and I think history teaches us that countries at the level of development like Indonesia must forge compromise, cooperation and collaboration amongst the elite of our country. We have to have competition, but we must also have collaboration and cooperation for the sake of the greater good. In such a situation, I'm convinced that a climate of stability, a climate of confidence will encourage investment. Most important, I'm convinced of the importance of the rule of law, of good governance. We have maintained fiscal discipline, our inflation under control, I think one of the lowest. Foreign direct investment is also proved to be very sound. We reached $53 billion last year, and I think this reflects real confidence in our economy. With its size, its growth potential, our political political stability and the direction of our policies. We have problems of good governance, we have problems of corruption, we have problems of weak institutional performance, a lot of smuggling going around, a lot of illegal economic activities, illegal mining, illegal fishing, illegal economic activities such as corporations maintaining plantations in protected forests. Has been a long time problem, but I choose to face these problems head on. I do not want to surrender the sovereignty of the Indonesian government to these illegal cartels that perpetuate the loss of income, the loss of revenue that is due to the government and the people of Indonesia. Weak governance and mismanagement of our economy to be tremendous. In my first few months taking over the administration, I have saved from the budget of my country around $18 billion cash from our budget. The savings come from inefficiency, projects that are not productive. Maybe it could be similar to what was attempted, or what it has been attempted here in the United States also with, is that DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. But I must say that I started first, a few months before, and I feel I was successful. I feel empowered. I think I'm one of the few presidents of Indonesia that in the first 3 months of the administration, I saved $18 billion in cash. Each government institution spent quite a considerable amount of money on ceremonies. You know, is it our culture? If it's our culture, we must acknowledge that it's a weakness on our part. I mean, we spend a lot of money on anniversaries. So each ministry has an anniversary. Each provincial government has an anniversary. Each kabupaten or district has an anniversary. Just a takeaway from some restaurant, you know. Just to have a rational, you know, let's think about what we can do for the people. And what is this ceremony, you know? I mean, this was my approach, but I'm determined to, and I did save a lot of money. We have, apart from ceremonies, we have foreign travel was in the billions of dollars. You know. So I'm trying to cut down on travel from government institutions. Everybody wants a study tour to study something outside Indonesia, but I'm saying the problem of Indonesia is very clear, right? There was a study tour studying poverty alleviation in Australia. Australia, I think, is one of the 10 richest countries in the world, right? And what was said was, when they sent the study team there, I learned from my Australian friends, it was around Easter. I mean, Australians being majority Christian, I mean, at Easter they're on holidays. There was no one, things like this happened. And I'm determined just to, be rational. I got a report that there was a study tour of Indonesian officials going to Japan around the 20th of October. I mean, it was Christmas time. I mean, the things like this, I try to have rationality. It was not easy in the beginning. In fact, I had demonstrations against me, but I think it was the first time in the history, perhaps of the world, that there was a demonstration against government efficiency. I don't know who was paying for these demonstrations, but I mean, it was pretty sad actually. So we are determined to treat our act. We must do it at all costs, because in my opinion, being once a foreign investor also in the country, I mean, nobody wants to enter an economy that is full of uncertainty, that there is no confidence in the legal processes. To acknowledge this. And I said that we must have the courage to acknowledge our weaknesses and tackle them. I'm very fortunate in having a good team helping me. I say, let's do our best to produce better results for our people, our society. The Indonesian people now, they have access to information at a level never before known in our history. Everybody has gadgets, and information travels very fast. And I'm experiencing I would say the benefit, but also the stress sometimes that many village children speak directly to me on their TikTok or on their sending messages directly to the President. Mr. President, we don't have a bridge over our river here. We have to be wet every day going to school. And this comes direct to me, right? So I have to be very quick in our reaction, because they must feel that their government, they must feel that the central government, their president, will listen to them, will react. And it was heartwarming. I got messages from the headmaster of a very isolated school in Papua, who said we delivered 288,000 more than 280,000 screens. So that is nearly all the schools of Indonesia. One screen per school, and it will be in one classroom, but this year I intend to add another 3 to every school, so there will be 4 screens to every school, and my target will be by the end of my term as president, all classrooms in all schools of Indonesia will have this interactive screen, in which, in the software, the entire syllabus of our schools are in the software, can be accessed anytime, and we can also have distance, long distance education, long distance teaching, so that every school of Indonesia, wherever they are, in the most isolated island, in the most isolated mountain, they will have access to the best knowledge, the best education they can get. Where there are no teachers, we will have a central studio of the best teachers of Indonesia teaching through long distance. Parents and the teachers are all enthusiastic about this, and this is truly heartwarming for me to see the quick results of this program. To continue, we are seeing results now called dengan, and it's now headed by the Minister of Investment, who concurrently is the head of our new sovereign wealth fund. They've been in operation, I think, nearly exactly 1 year. Exactly 1 year. not yet 1 year. 24th February. 24th of February, which is a few days from now, we established the sovereign wealth fund, and you see the head has lost a lot of hair. Actually, do you know the secret about this? This we call it yeah. The secret is actually this was designed to hide leaders whose heads are balding. So if I open my copia, you will see I'm also balding. That's after 1 year. So yes, we are open. We need investment. We want more investment, and we are confident that we are competitive. We are attractive. We have a lot of minerals that are necessary for new technologies. I think we are strong in critical minerals. I think I just got a report. I think we have one of the largest rare earth reserves in the world. $3 billion worth of waste to energy processing plants, which is very crucial for us to take care of our waste management. So we are moving very fast in all of these sectors, and I think for American companies, Indonesia will not just be an attractive market, but also we hope that it will be used as a production base, and that Indonesia can be viewed as a good strategic partner for population. Our scale is very significant, our demographics are strong, and we renew our commitment to openness. We have a long way to go. Infrastructure must be improved, logistics must be improved to cut down costs. We need more efficient ports, harbors, airports, highways. We want to go the digital path that can improve efficiency. We are working very hard to reduce costs, strengthen connectivity, and ensure supply chains operating through Indonesia that will be reliable. Energy transition is also part of our long-term strategy. We are committed to renewables, electric vehicles, green industries, but our approach is very pragmatic. We will go at a speed that is adjusted to our capacity. We pursue projects that must be economically sound, that must be bankable and capable of delivering long-term returns. Ladies and gentlemen, I have carried out large projects that are designed to address the reality of a lot of our children facing hunger, malnutrition. I have carried out a free meal program, which basically I copied or I learned from the experience of the American experience and the European experience. I understand in most American schools, in most European schools, there has been free meal program for many, many years. And I understand that this is actually a real part of the democratization process. Real democracy can be felt or can benefit all society most directly through education and through health services. This is why I learned what I learned, and I'm convinced that this is correct. As you know, my election as President of the Republic of Indonesia has been a long journey. I took part in 5 attempts: 2004, 2009, 2014, 2019, and the 5th was 2024. So 4 defeats, but final success. What I learned from these 4 defeats, I learned during my campaign. My campaigns, I traveled the country, I visited the villages, and frankly I was shocked when I saw a lot of children in the villages were very small. I asked their age, and children who I thought were 4, 5, 6 years old, they told me their age was 10, 11, 12. And then I learned that 25% of our children are experiencing stunting growth. So their brain cells are not to the optimum, their bone cells, their muscle cells. So they will be completely weak when they grow up, physically also, mentally. So I was thinking that there must be a way. We cannot accept this. And then I saw also the gap between the very rich at the top, and most of them, or most of my people, are still experiencing poverty. And this made me even more determined to have policies that can immediately alleviate these matters. And I did this with determination, and I used the savings that we made from inefficient, unproductive, and frankly, misuse of our government money, government funds, the budget that, very frankly, I would say, has, and had we not carried out strict efficiency, would have evaporated being part of the corruption that we faced. So this money that I saved would have gone evaporated to corruption. And this is the money that I used to reallocate to these programs. So I've been accused of being spending recklessly, etc. No, this is reallocation of resources. And by the way, I met, after a few months of my program, I met some leaders from the Rockefeller Institute from the United States who came to Jakarta to study our free lunch program, free meal program, and they told me that this was the wisest choice, the best investment that any country could have made, because for every dollar spent in free meals for the children, the return is, according to the Rockefeller Institute, the return is at least $7 in the return, but could, in the long term, provide a return up to 35 times. That's they say that they have done research for many countries through many years, and this is the result. So I think we are now experiencing this. Some of the members of Apindo came to me a few, I think last week, and they experienced, they said this, January was the highest domestic consumption for many, many years. I think for the last 10 or 15 years, domestic consumption in January was the highest. And they tell me their experience is because of the free meal program. Free meal program, we have now already 23,000 kitchens, each kitchen employing 50 people in the village. Mothers who never had any income now have income. They're working 3 or 4 shifts to provide food, but also this creates demand. Now each kitchen, each village has a need for eggs, for chicken, for vegetables, for tomatoes, etc. So another 10, 15 farmers have guaranteed offtake. And this results in a multiplier effect, which is creating some sort of boom from the bottom. So this encourages us, and I think this also guarantees or enhances social and political stability. We understand that employment is critical and very important, and This creates real employment, real demand. Now production of nearly all agricultural goods are very high. Now we have achieved the highest rice production in the history of the Republic of Indonesia. On all commodities now we are nearly self-sufficient, except for a few. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on about our achievements in the first year, but I think I will cut down my short remarks, because as you know, if you give a political leader a microphone, he tends to not want to stop. I think this. So I've met many American business leaders, even the short time that I've been here. Now I'm meeting you. I'm very optimistic. We want to see American companies as strategic partners, and I think I've proven. I think a lot of the long-term players and participants in our economy, I think, will testify how the Indonesian government and myself also continuing in that tradition. We have always tried to protect our investors. We have always tried to be a good host and try to produce the best atmosphere for our investors. And the U.S. is one of our strongest partners. We can never forget that the United States supported our independence struggle. Basically, the United States intervened on our side during our War of Independence, and that can never be forgotten in our history. Many times the United States intervened, helping Indonesia in critical times. So that I also tell the younger generation of Indonesians, do not forget the role that the United States played in in the birth of our nation, politically and also economically. In the beginning and in critical times, the United States supported us. In the 60s, we had agriculture collapse because of the turmoil that was happening not only in Indonesia but all over Southeast Asia. In the 60s, the United States came to us providing relief. I still remember, I think it was called PL 480. It was very important for us, significant. So we hope for a stronger American presence in our economy, and I want to assure you that we are working very hard to basically for our interest, for the interest of our people. The Indonesian people demand a good governance, demand a clean government. This is my position. Pemerintah yang bersih dan adil, a government that is clean and will create, promote, and defend justice and the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that concludes my remarks. I apologize for maybe taking too much of the time allocated to me, but I conclude with the hope that relations between the U.S. and Indonesia will continue to be good and we will flourish together. I believe that what I learned from American entrepreneurs is let's make money together, right? Win-win, win-win. Everybody makes profit. It should be win-win, and everybody benefit. With benefit, prosperity. That's the lesson I learned from history. Prosperity comes from good governance, clean government. Prosperity comes from stability. Stability comes from a satisfied people. They are satisfied because they have confidence in their leaders. So, please come to Indonesia. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the U.S. business community, President Prabowo Subianto, thank you very much for coming.
Helping us. And ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, thank you very much for those kind words. And I don't think I deserve those kind words, but thank you very much. I am deeply honored tonight to be here, invited by the U.S.-ASEAN Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the USINDO, the United States Indonesia Society, of which, by the way, my father was the Indonesian co-president, I think, in the first years of USINDO. And so I'm pleased to be here in Washington, D.C. I've been invited by the President of the United States to be in the first, I think, official meeting of the Board of Peace, which was established to try to follow through on the ceasefire agreements in Gaza and to work towards a pathway in which we can find a lasting solution to the problems, the conflicts in Gaza and Palestine. So this will be a very important meeting that I attend, and also I'm here also to conclude a major trade agreement between our two countries. We have been negotiating very intensely for the past several months, and I think we have achieved a solid agreement on many issues. So I look forward to see this trade agreement as a major boost for continuing U.S.-Indonesian economic partnership, economic cooperation. As you know, we signed several important agreements between Indonesian and U.S. partners, some between Indonesian government institutions and some between Indonesian companies and U.S. companies. And amongst them are the implementing agreements as a follow-up to the major points agreed upon between Indonesia and the U.S. concerning trade balance between our two countries. So I'm very optimistic about the future of our relationship. As you know, Indonesia will always remember the role that the United States has played in our history. The U.S. was instrumental in supporting our struggle for independence in the 1940s, 45 to 49. We were fighting a war of independence, trying to free ourselves from Dutch colonialism, and the U.S. was instrumental in supporting us. And throughout our early history, we always saw the United States helping us in our critical times. I think this shows actually how, at least the current leaders of Indonesia, we always try to teach the younger generation to never forget our friends who were friends in our times of need. So there are also friends who will be friends when everything is going well. I think in your idiom it's called fair weather friends. But it shows how old I am actually. That I remember those tough times, right? And so we do remember. And I think today, my visit here, my support of the U.S.-Indonesia partnership, I think is evidence of our commitment that we want to see a strong American presence in Indonesia. We've always wanted that. We always tried to convince America, United States of America, that Indonesia is a true friend, even though maybe politically we have a tradition of non-alignment. That's our tradition in our foreign policy. We take the position of great respect for all the great powers, and we value this friendship to all nations. And in the end, we feel that we can be some sort of a bridge, some sort of a honest broker between great powers. We hope that in this planet of ours, that we feel this planet is getting smaller and smaller because of technology, because of science. I think there is a great need for collaboration, for cooperation, and I myself see that there is a great will on the part of the leaders of the United States now to create a climate of peace. This might not be satisfactory to many people, but at least we have to try to make the best of what we can. Therefore, in coordination and in close consultation with the other leading Islamic countries that have been invited by the President of the United States to join in the endeavors to try to achieve lasting peace in Palestine. We remain committed to support this. We see this as an opportunity. Whatever the challenges that we face, there are challenges, there are tremendous difficulties. We recognize there are still obstacles to be overcome. But at least, my position is at least we have to try and we have to do our best. So, once again, we would like the best of relationship with the United States in all spheres, politically, economically, in the field of humanitarian assistance, in the field of protecting the environment. We have a strong potential to enhance this relationship. Indonesia has a lot of potential. We are we now realize, I think the region realizes that Indonesia is no longer the sleeping giant. We are starting to wake up a bit. And I think the region, even the world, now recognize that we have solid economic foundations. We have managed our economy prudently over the years. We have never defaulted, not once in our history. We have never defaulted on our debts. Even succeeding administration, succeeding governments will always respect the debts of previous governments, even though maybe they were very strong opponents of each other. But the tradition in our society is to respect our obligations, and this is the tradition that we have followed up to now. Indonesia has been more and more or less in our history a bit below the radar. We tend to be more inward looking because we have tremendous problems to overcome. A lot of our people are living in poverty. A lot of our people still face hunger. A lot of our children face malnutrition. And this I am determined to address. I am of the opinion that problems are to be solved head on. We must have the courage to acknowledge our weaknesses, acknowledge our problems, and do our best to look for the best solutions. I've been in discussion with senior members of many American corporations a few hours ago, and there I emphasized that my government is aware of our strengths and our weaknesses. We acknowledge our weaknesses. We are determined to create a more efficient government. We are determined to have good governance. We are trying to create a new generation of leaders well-educated, well-trained, but also well-grounded in good administration, good governance, rational, logical, pragmatic management, pragmatic problem-solving regimes. So, this new attitude that we are trying to foster in our young generation, we are speeding up in all fields. Of course, economically, we have to protect our resources, manage our resources well, and prepare the human element. Education, for me, is very important. I am establishing 10 new universities. We're starting to build this year. 500 new high-quality schools, working together, inviting foreign institutions of education to come to Indonesia. We're opening up the education sector. I've just come back from the United Kingdom and talking to great universities there. Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College, King's College, University College London, etc., etc. And they are also very interested in coming to Indonesia. I'm also inviting American institutions to work with us in Indonesia. Education, fields of health. We have a shortage of 140,000 medical doctors, and we only graduate around 10,000 doctors a year. That means it will take us 14 years to fill this gap unless new effort is made, and that's why I'm creating these 10 new universities, which will be based on STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine. So here I think also opportunity for the US. We have, I think, General Electric also building medical equipment in Indonesia, and we hope that they will increase their production. We will support it. There were some bureaucratic snags which we resolved very fast. And I did receive inputs a few hours ago from from some corporations complaining of very slow solutions to their problems. So thank you very much for this opportunity for me to get direct input that this is what I like, to solve problems very fast. And I think in the current age, speed is very important. Speed will help accelerate the rate of growth and the rate of progress. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think those are the points that I would like to make. My government is committed to fight against corruption, against malfeasance. We know we have a lot of problems. We have problems of smuggling, human trafficking. We have problems of illegal economic activities. illegal mining, illegal fishery, illegal logging. I just closed 1,000 illegal mines. 1,000 illegal mines. They were mining in protected forests. I also confiscated something like 4 million hectares of corporations that violated laws and regulations, that were operating outside their permitted areas, outside their concessions, etc., etc. We are dealing our problems head on. We are enforcing the law. We are attempting to create an atmosphere of the certainty of the legal process. I think this will all add to a climate of social stability, political stability, and will create an environment that is conducive for business and economic activities. Mr. Anggaran mentioned that I was in the military. After the military, I went to business. So I was also doing business in countries outside Indonesia. So I know I have the experience of being also a foreign investor. We were in Kazakhstan, former Soviet Union. We were in Azerbaijan. So we know the concerns of foreign corporations and foreign business. And I think I'm proud to say that I have friends here, long-time friends, right? Like Mr. Anggaran, we were friends for how many decades? So I think he can testify of how we are committed, how we protect our foreign guests, how we uphold the sanctity of contracts, the sanctity of agreements, and I think this will testify to the tradition of Indonesians who welcome foreigners as guests. I think that's our tradition. All guests we consider must be protected. We can quarrel among ourselves, but for us foreign guests, or guests are, in our tradition, must be protected and must be valued. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I will cut my remarks here, because otherwise I tend to speak longer and longer than necessary. I think that's the dark side of politicians and politicians. But I think it's your fault for giving me a podium. Because an American political leader actually taught me, Prabowo, never stop campaigning. So even though you are just elected, and he told us a few weeks after I was elected, never stop campaigning. So I always said this. Who knows, I'll get 3 or 4 more supporters from this new thing. But anyway, you must know that we value the U.S.-Indonesia relationship. We value American involvement, American participation, and for many years, actually, whether you like it or not, I mean, people in Southeast Asia always considers the United States as a strong friend and, let us say, a leader of the free world. Thank you very much.